Have you ever dreamed of making it rain money in your life? Have you felt that no matter how hard you work, money is never enough? That something is always missing to achieve the financial freedom you so desire? The truth is, this happens because you still don't know the right habits to prosper. Today, I'm going to reveal 15 biblical habits, taught through generations, that can transform your financial life. It's not magic, it's applied wisdom. If you're tired of struggling month after month, watching opportunities slip away while your bills pile up, it's time to change that forever. In this video, I'll show you how to attract a lot of money and build a life of abundance with simple yet extremely powerful principles. Pay attention, because the secret to prospering is right here, and it's up to you to start now. Shall we? And let's get to the first habit. But first, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because the upcoming videos will feature a series of content designed to help you improve and transform your financial life. Imagine your financial life as a glass of water. Every time you receive money, you're filling the glass. But if there's a hole at the bottom and you spend everything you earn, it will always be empty. Now think, what if you plugged the hole and left some water in the glass each month? Over time, it would fill up, ready to sustain you when you need it most. That's what living below your means means. It's not about living with nothing but spending less than you earn and saving a little for the future. This lesson appears in the Bible, in Proverbs 21 verse 20. The house of the wise has stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. In other words, those who save wisely will always have enough, while those who spend everything live on the edge. Remember Joseph in Egypt? He stored grain during the years of abundance. When the famine came, not only did Egypt survive, but it prospered. He planned, lived with less, and secured the future for everyone. Now, let's bring this to your daily life. Imagine you earn 100 reis. Instead of spending it all on things you want now, how about setting aside 20 reis and saving it? It's like planting a seed. Over time, it grows and bears fruit. This doesn't mean you need to give up everything, but make smart choices instead. Maybe skip that expensive coffee every day or the extra snack that isn't really necessary. Small changes can create big results. Imagine you're a juggler. If you have only one ball to toss in the air and it falls, the show ends. Now, if you have several balls, even if one falls, the show goes on. That's exactly what diversifying your income sources means. Not depending on a single source of income can bring more security and, of course, opportunities to build wealth. The Bible gives us a powerful tip about this in Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2. Divide your portion among 7, or even 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. This advice, given thousands of years ago, is extremely relevant today. It teaches us that putting all your eggs in one basket is risky. If something goes wrong, you'll still have other income sources to sustain your life. Let's think of practical examples. Imagine you have a full-time job but decide to use your talent to bake and sell cakes on weekends. Additionally, you rent out that spare room in your house to travelers. Now, you not only have your salary but also earn money from the cakes and the rental. If something unexpected happens at work, these other incomes help you stay afloat. Studies show that wealthy people, on average, have 7 income sources. It may sound like a lot, but the secret is to start small. How about turning that hobby you love into something profitable? Do you like teaching? You could offer online classes. Have a car? Why not work with ride-hailing apps in your free time? The possibilities are endless, and every step you take increases your financial security. Having an emergency fund is essential for dealing with the unexpected. Life is full of surprises, like medical emergencies, urgent repairs, or even job loss. If you're not prepared, these moments can destabilize your finances. That's why building an emergency fund is like setting up a protective shield for your financial life. The Bible teaches us the importance of being prepared in Proverbs 22 verse 3. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. This prudence can be directly applied to finances. Imagine you have an emergency fund sufficient to cover a few months of expenses. It gives you time and peace of mind to resolve problems without going into debt or compromising your stability. A recent study revealed that only 44% of Americans could handle a $1,000 emergency using their savings. This statistic shows how unprepared many people are for everyday challenges. An emergency fund can mean the difference between facing a problem confidently or falling into a crisis. To start, set a realistic goal. Many experts recommend your fund cover 3 to 6 months of basic expenses. Initially, even saving small amounts, like 50 or 100 reis per month, is already a big step. The important thing is to maintain consistency and discipline. Set this money aside in a separate account, away from easy access, to avoid the temptation to spend it. Investing is a smart way to make your money work for you. Instead of letting it sit idle, it can grow and generate more resources over time. The Bible teaches us this principle in Proverbs 21 verse 20. Precious treasures and oil are in a wise man's dwelling, but a foolish man devours them. Saving and multiplying your resources is a way to build stability and achieve your financial goals. Investing wisely means choosing applications that align with your goals and profile. There are different types of investments, such as stocks, real estate, bonds, or even your own business. The key is to understand what works for you and diversify. This reduces risks and increases your chances of returns. A biblical example is the parable of the talents in Matthew 25, where the servants who invested and multiplied the master's money were rewarded. The same happens in financial life. Those who invest wisely reap results over time. However, it is important to remember that investing requires patience and planning. Starting to invest doesn't have to be complicated. Today, there are many platforms that allow investments with small amounts, making it accessible for beginners. Before investing, research, learn, and seek knowledge about the options available. Avoid falling for promises of quick and guaranteed returns, as these are often traps. Do you already practice this habit? Do you know someone who invests wisely and achieves great results? Share with us in the comments, and I'll help you. Imagine your mind as a garden. Each new lesson, each piece of knowledge you gain, is a seed you plant. Over time, if you take good care of this garden, it will bloom and bear fruit. Seeking financial wisdom is exactly that. Continuously learning, understanding how money works, and using that knowledge to improve your life. The Bible speaks about this in Proverbs 1 verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. It's not just about intelligence but about humility to recognize that we can always learn more. Solomon, known as the wisest man in the Bible, asked God for wisdom instead of riches, and this made him one of the most prosperous kings of all time. Now, think of an ordinary person like Anna. She had a stable job but was always struggling at the end of the month. One day, she decided to learn more about finances. She started by watching free videos online, then read books and took courses. Little by little, Anna learned how to save, invest, and plan better. In 2 years, she managed to pay off her debts, build an emergency fund, and even invest in a small business. All because she decided to seek wisdom. Studies show that people who invest in financial education are more likely to achieve stability and success. Seeking knowledge doesn't mean complicating your life, but learning simple things that make a big difference, like creating a budget, understanding how credit cards work, or even learning to invest small amounts. Imagine a river. It flows freely, nourishing plants and animals along its path. If we block its flow, the water becomes stagnant, and the river loses its strength. Generosity works the same way. When we share what we have, we create a flow that not only helps others but also makes room for new blessings in our lives. The Bible teaches us in Luke 6 verse 38, "Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap." This means that when we give, we receive back in unexpected ways. Generosity isn't just about money. It's about sharing time, skills, or even words of support. Think about Marta's story. She worked hard but always set aside part of what she earned to help others. One day, her city was hit by a storm, and many people were left homeless. Marta used her savings to buy food and clothes for her neighbors. What she didn't expect was that, weeks later, she received a promotion at work, exactly when her savings had run out. Her generosity didn't go unnoticed, and her attitude inspired others to do the same. Scientific studies show that acts of generosity increase happiness and even improve health by reducing stress. When we are generous, we build stronger connections with others and cultivate a mindset of abundance. It's not about giving large sums but contributing what we can, whether it's time, energy, or resources. Financial patience is one of the pillars for achieving stability and prosperity. It's about understanding that the best achievements take time and require discipline. The Bible teaches us in Ecclesiastes 7 verse 8, "Better is the end of a thing than its beginning, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit." This principle reminds us that, in the world of finances, haste can lead to impulsive and harmful decisions. Building wealth is like planting a tree. You plant the seed, nurture it, water it, and wait until it grows and bears fruit. The same applies to investments, savings, and even paying off debts. Many people fall into the temptation of seeking instant gratification, spending on momentary desires, which can compromise their long-term goals. Cultivating patience means prioritizing the future instead of giving in to present pressures. A practical example of financial patience is setting long-term goals. Saving for a home, retirement, or even a special trip can take months or years. But by avoiding shortcuts, such as risky financing or unnecessary debts, you create a safer and more sustainable path. Patience is also essential in investments. Short-term market fluctuations can be challenging, but a patient approach allows you to reap the rewards of long-term growth. Studies show that investors who hold their positions for years tend to achieve better results than those who try to time the market and act impulsively. Debt can be a major obstacle to your financial freedom. The Bible warns us in Proverbs 22 verse 7, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." This means that when we accumulate debt recklessly, we become trapped in a situation that limits our choices and increases financial stress. Not all debt is bad. For example, loans for education or buying a home can be considered investments in the future. However, unnecessary debts, such as using credit cards to maintain a lifestyle you cannot afford, can become a heavy burden. Imagine trying to run a marathon carrying a backpack full of stones. That's how excessive debt affects your financial progress. Avoiding debt starts with planning. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, do I really need this now? Can I afford it without going into debt? If the answer is no, it might be better to postpone or look for more economical alternatives. Additionally, it's important to develop the habit of living within your means, spending only what you earn. If you're already in debt, prioritize paying it off. Strategies like the snowball method, paying off the smallest debts first, or the avalanche method, eliminating the highest interest debts first, can help. Create a realistic plan and stay disciplined. It's also crucial to use credit wisely. Paying off your credit card balance in full every month prevents interest from accumulating. Before taking on a new financial commitment, carefully evaluate if it fits within your budget and if it's truly worth it. Diligent work is one of the foundations of prosperity. The Bible teaches us in Ecclesiastes 9 verse 10, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might." This means we should dedicate ourselves with effort and excellence in everything we do, as well-done work not only brings results but also opens doors to new opportunities. Being diligent at work goes beyond simply completing tasks. It's about having a growth mindset, seeking continuous learning, and giving your best, regardless of the position or activity. Think of work as a garden. The more you water, care for, and plant new seeds, the greater the harvest in the future. A practical example of diligence is identifying ways to improve your skills. Whether it's learning something new to increase your productivity or pursuing specializations in your field, every step taken with effort strengthens your professional position. Additionally, dedication creates a differentiator, making you stand out among others, which can lead to promotions, recognition, or new opportunities. Diligent work also reflects responsibility. Meeting deadlines, being proactive, and maintaining quality are attitudes that build trust with colleagues, clients, and employers. This trust translates into long-term stability and growth. Another important aspect is attitude. Seeing work as an opportunity to grow and contribute, rather than as a burden, can transform your relationship with it. Even tasks that seem small or routine have value when done with excellence. Imagine a man named Pedro. He always looked at other people's lives and thought, if I had Joao's car or Maria's house, I'd be happy. Despite working hard, Pedro was frustrated because he never felt he had enough. One day, his grandmother told him, "Pedro, happiness isn't about having more, it's about valuing what you already have." These words made him reflect. He began to be thankful for simple things, like his health, his family, and even the coffee he drank every morning. Pedro realized that the more he gave thanks, the happier he felt. This is the essence of contentment. The Bible teaches us in 1 Timothy 6 verse 6, "Godliness with contentment is great gain." This means that by learning to be satisfied with what we have, we gain something money cannot buy: peace of mind. Practicing contentment doesn't mean you should abandon your dreams or settle for less. It's about finding joy in the present while working for the future. Often, we are led to believe that we will only be happy when we achieve something: a promotion, a bigger house, a new car. But the truth is, if you're not satisfied now, it's likely you won't be when you reach your goals either. One practical way to cultivate contentment is to practice gratitude daily. Take a moment to think of 3 things you're grateful for today. This shifts your perspective and helps you see what really matters. Another important step is to avoid comparisons. Everyone is on a different journey, and comparing your progress to others only brings dissatisfaction. Planning for the future is like preparing for a trip. Imagine you're going to an unknown place. Without a map, an itinerary, or reservations, the risk of getting lost or facing problems increases significantly. The same happens with your finances. Without a plan, you risk overspending, having no resources for emergencies, and finding yourself trapped in difficult situations. The Bible gives us a clear example in Proverbs 6 verses 6 to 8. "Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest." Just as ants work in the present thinking of the future, we too must do the same with our finances. Planning starts with clear goals. What do you want to achieve financially in the next few months, years, or decades? It could be buying a house, paying for quality education for your children, or even retiring comfortably. With these goals in mind, create a budget that directs your income towards specific objectives. This planning helps avoid waste and gives purpose to how you use your money. Let's look at a practical example. Imagine Anna, who always spent everything she earned and never had money for emergencies. After learning about financial planning, she began tracking her expenses and setting priorities. In just a few months, she was able to build an emergency fund and organize her finances to invest in courses that improved her career. Planning changed her life. In addition to a monthly budget, it's important to plan for emergencies. Create a financial reserve that covers 3 to 6 months of expenses. This protects you from unforeseen events, such as job loss or unexpected medical bills. Also, think long-term, planning for retirement or achieving bigger goals. Being a faithful steward means responsibly managing the resources we have, whether they are financial, material, or even our time. The Bible reminds us in 1 Corinthians 4 verse 2, "Now it is required that those who have been given a trust must prove faithful." This means we are managers of what we receive and must use these resources wisely and prudently. Good management begins with a detailed record of your finances. Knowing exactly how much you earn, spend, and save is the first step to good stewardship. Many people lose financial control simply because they don't monitor their spending habits. Keeping an updated budget and recording expenses helps identify where you can save or invest more wisely. Another important practice is avoiding waste. The money spent unnecessarily on small things can be used for bigger goals, like building an emergency fund, investing, or achieving dreams. Being a faithful steward doesn't just mean accumulating wealth, but using resources intelligently and in alignment with your values. The Bible gives us the example of the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. The servants who used the talents to generate more resources were praised, while the one who buried the talent was reprimanded. This teaches us that, in addition to saving, we must seek to multiply what we receive, whether through investments, professional development, or new projects. Being faithful also includes transparency and honesty. Fulfilling financial commitments, like paying debts on time, and avoiding unethical shortcuts is essential to building a solid foundation. A reputation for integrity opens doors and generates trust in personal and professional relationships. Seeking wise counsel is a fundamental practice for making intelligent financial decisions. The Bible teaches us in Proverbs 19 verse 20, "Listen to advice and accept instruction, that you may gain wisdom in the future." This reminds us that, even with knowledge, we can benefit from the experience and guidance of others, especially in complex matters like finances. Receiving advice doesn't mean relying entirely on other people's opinions, but rather gathering information and perspectives to help you make more informed decisions. Financial mentors, experienced advisors, or even trusted friends who have achieved financial stability can offer valuable insights. Good advice can prevent costly mistakes and point to paths you may not have considered. Practicing this in daily life is simple. Before making an investment, purchasing something of great value, or taking on debt, seek guidance. A financial advisor can help you create a detailed plan and suggest the best options based on your situation. If hiring a professional isn't possible, read reliable books, attend lectures, or join groups that discuss financial planning. The Bible also gives us practical examples of people who sought wise counsel. Moses listened to the advice of Jethro, his father-in-law, about delegating tasks to better manage his people. Solomon, the wisest king, surrounded himself with advisors to govern wisely. These examples show that even great leaders understood the value of listening and learning from others. On the other hand, ignoring advice can lead to impulsive and disastrous decisions. It's important to be open to listening, especially from those with more experience. However, remember to filter the information received, analyzing if it makes sense for your specific situation. Imagine Julia, an entrepreneur who started selling homemade cakes in her neighborhood. Over time, her business grew, and she opened a small bakery. One day, a supplier offered her cheaper ingredients of lower quality, suggesting she could save money and still sell at the same price. Julia knew she could make more money, but she decided to maintain her integrity. She believed deceiving her customers would be harmful in the long run. This choice built her reputation, and her clientele remained loyal, recommending her business to others. Years later, her bakery was one of the most recognized in the city. Julia's story illustrates what it means to practice financial integrity. The Bible teaches us in Proverbs 10 verse 9, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out." This means that being honest in our financial decisions builds a solid and trustworthy foundation, while unethical shortcuts lead to problems. Practicing financial integrity involves keeping promises, paying debts on time, and being transparent in negotiations. When we act with honesty, we gain the trust of clients, partners, and even our family. This trust, in turn, creates opportunities and long-term stability. A practical example is avoiding shortcuts like evading taxes or omitting information in contracts. These actions may seem advantageous at the moment, but besides being unethical, they can lead to serious legal and financial consequences. Maintaining integrity also means being fair to employees, suppliers, and even yourself, ensuring that your decisions respect your values. Alright, now let's move on to the final habit. But before we do, I noticed you haven't left your like on this video yet. This is very important for YouTube to share our content and for us to continue helping as many people as possible. Leave your like, it's free. Maintaining an eternal perspective means looking beyond material achievements and aligning your financial decisions with deeper and lasting values. The Bible instructs us in Matthew 6 verses 19 to 20, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal." This message reminds us that while it's important to manage earthly finances well, they should not be our only focus. Having an eternal perspective doesn't mean neglecting your financial responsibilities or failing to plan for the future. On the contrary, it's about using your resources in ways that reflect your values and benefit not only yourself but also those around you. This includes helping those in need, supporting important causes, and investing in relationships and personal growth. Applying this principle in daily life can start with small actions. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing with my money contributing to something bigger than myself? This might mean donating to a charitable organization, offering financial help to a friend in need, or simply using your resources to create meaningful moments with your family. Keeping this perspective also helps avoid the trap of seeking happiness solely through consumption. True satisfaction doesn't come from accumulating material possessions, but from living according to your values and purposes. Additionally, people with a broader vision of their finances tend to make wiser decisions and handle economic highs and lows more effectively. Alright, we've reached the end. But before you go, I need to remind you of something very important. Everything you've heard here will only work if you put it into practice. These 15 biblical habits are like powerful tools, but a tool sitting idle won't build anything on its own. Now it's up to you. If you really want to prosper and attract more money, you need to start today. Take these habits, one at a time, and begin applying them to your life. It's not enough to just know them, you need to act. It might be challenging at first, but every small step will bring you closer to a life full of freedom and abundance. Oh, and don't keep this to yourself. Do you know someone who's also struggling to improve their life? Share this video. Let's help more people discover these habits and change their stories. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel to keep receiving our next content. See you in the next video.